Okay, going to do a couple examples of metric to imperial conversions and or imperial to metric conversions. We need to know how to go back and forth here and convert some common numbers between the two. This is a typical height for an average human being on this continent. I want to know how many meters 5 feet 9 inches is. That's what this says. Okay, here's some things that I know from my formula sheet. There's some conversions here. Okay, this is pretty much all I have to go on. Now I can convert 5 feet into meters, and then I can convert 9 inches to meters, and then add these two together to give me the total height in meters. But that looks like a lot of work. How do I make this just one unit so I don't have to do two separate conversions? Well, most of us are pretty familiar that there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So 5 feet, okay, without writing out all the units and the brackets, I think most of us can figure out pretty quickly that's 60 inches, 5 feet, okay? I have 60 inches. And I have 9 inches, so 5 foot 9 inches, that's the same as 69 inches. Now I want to convert this to meters. If I had an inch to a meter conversion, okay, I would just use one set of brackets. That would be all I would need. But I don't. Here's what I do know. Okay, so what I can do is go from inches into centimeters, then from centimeters into meters. Okay, that's 2 sets of brackets I'm going to need. So first, let's convert inches to centimeters. I know that there are, 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. I have to put the inch on the bottom and the centimeters on the top, so that inches will cancel out. That's inches divided by inches. This is now in centimeters. I want to get rid of centimeters, so I put that down here, and I know there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Centimeters cancels out. The only unit I have left here is meters. Good, that's what I'm asked to find. So, how do I put this in my calculator? Knowing that my units are okay, all the numbers on the top we multiply, and all the numbers on the bottom we divide. Doesn't matter what order we do this in. Okay, so I have 69 on the top times 2.54 on the top, divided by 100 on the bottom is 1.7526 meters. Exactly. Okay? Read the question. It may ask you to round it to the tenths, to the hundredths, okay? If it doesn't, well, let's just write the whole answer out exactly. That's how many meters 5 feet and 9 inches is. Now, what if we get a question where we have to go the other way around? What if I get 69 inches? I want to know how many meters that is. Okay, actually, let me forget about that, because that's pretty similar to the one I just did. Let's go on to going from meters to feet and inches. Okay? Well, you got a couple of choices. You can make this all feet and then determine how many inches you have, or you can make this all inches and determine how many feet and inches you have. Okay, you got a couple of choices. Most people, I find, it'll be easier if we put it in inches and then find out how many feet we have in that and see what's left over. Okay, that sounds kind of confusing, but let's just convert this to inches and then make it feet and inches. Okay, so 4.2 meters I'm using the same conversions here. I don't have a meter directly to a feet and inch converter. That doesn't make any sense. I don't have a meter to an inch converter. But what I do have is meters to centimeters. Okay, 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Meters cancels out. This is now going to be in centimeters, but I don't want centimeters. I want inches. There's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. Centimeters divided by centimeters. This is going to give me inches. All the numbers on the top we multiply. All the numbers on the bottom we divide. So 4.2 times 100 divided by 2.54 is 165.35 inches. I'm going to round that to the hundredths. Okay? But again, I don't want inches, I want feet and inches. So, how many feet is that? There's a couple of ways to do this. Again, most of us are pretty familiar with this. So let's find out how many feet are in this. In other words, how many 12 inches are in 165.35. If I do that, divide that by 12, I get 13.78 rounded feet. Okay? So now we have a couple of choices. It's 13 feet and 0.78 feet. That's one way to think about it. I don't want feet and feet. I want feet and inches. How many inches is this? Okay, well, we can convert that, okay, because I know there's 12 inches in 1 foot. That will give me inches. If I go 0.78 times 12 and I round that, that's 9.36 inches. Okay, rounded to the nearest inch, that's 9 inches. So my answer is 13 feet, 9 inches. Okay, there's another way to think about it. I know this is, let me get a different color. I know that's 13 feet. Well, 13 feet is how many inches? 13 times 12 is 156 inches. All right, but remember I had 165.3 inches. So this is 13 feet. How many inches do I have left over? What is 165 minus 156? Well, again, that'll give you 9 inches. 13 feet, 9 inches. Okay? So there's a couple of ways to do it. I don't know what way your brain works, but pick the one that makes more sense. All right? Let's do another one. This one is kind of tricky. 42 kilometers per hour. How many meters a second is that? Okay, this is about as hard as they're going to get in Math 10. This is more like a Physics 11 question, but you might get this. I have two things going on here. I have a conversion on the top. I want to go kilometers to meters. And I have a conversion on the bottom. I want to go from hours into seconds. Okay, so just split it up in your head. Do one at a time. Let's just look at kilometers. To get from kilometers to meters, I know 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. That's on our formula sheet. Okay? Kilometers divided by kilometers. This will now be in meters per hour. Okay? I'm half done. I got the meters part. How do I get rid of hours? Well, do we know how many hours are in a second? Not really. But do we know how many seconds are in an hour? Maybe not. But we probably know this. There's 60 seconds in 1 minute. And there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So let's use both of those. Hours on the bottom, I want to cancel that out. I want to convert that to minutes. The only way that's going to happen is if I have an hour on the top. 1 hour is 60 minutes. Okay? Hours under hours, or hours divided by hours, it's gone. This is now in meters a minute. Okay, almost there. How do I cancel out minutes on the bottom? Have to have minutes on the top. 1 minute is 60 seconds. Okay, finally, minutes divided by minutes. What are the units I have left here? Meters per second. That's what I'm asked to find. This looks fine. Every other unit has canceled out except the meters per second. And again, how do you put this in your calculator? All the numbers on the top, you multiply. I got 1,000 up there. Okay, times 1 doesn't change it. Times 1 doesn't change it. Divided by every number on the bottom. Divided by 1, don't need to do it. Divided by 1, don't need it. Divided by 60. And divided by another 60. And that will be my answer in meters a second. 42 kilometers an hour is approximately, to the tenths, 11.7 meters per second. Okay? That's as tricky as they're going to get in this course.